We ready? All right. Good afternoon. I'm Carl Metzger, the Chief of Police here at UCF, and thank you all for coming. We want to talk about an incident that took place earlier today here on campus. It involved a 20-year-old junior, one of our students, who decided to dress up like Terminator. And his outfit consisted of a leather jacket and a bandolier of live shotgun shells. While it's not illegal to have ammunition on campus, it certainly is in poor taste given the events of the past week, and it raised the alarm to the point where we did receive a call. Our officers responded, got there quickly. We were able to interview a few individuals on scene, make contact with this individual, and determined that there was no threat to campus at that point. The student was interviewed by our detectives, and we did learn that, in fact, this was just a Halloween costume. There was no ill intent on this student's part. However, certainly it was not the smartest thing to do. So my two takeaways from this are, one, we only received one call on this incident. And in this day and age of see something, say something, we want our campus community to know we want you to call us when you see something like that. We expect to get calls. We want you to call. We should have had dozens of calls from everyone who saw this individual. Again, it's not illegal to have that ammunition, but certainly it should be alarming, and we want our campus community to call us under those circumstances. The second takeaway is tomorrow is Halloween, and we know that costumes will be popular tomorrow. I ask our campus community to make good choices, use good judgment, realize that in this day and age, having weapons, simulated weapons, anything that might raise an alarm is in poor taste and not very smart. So please use good judgment. Don't do what this person did today and dress up in an outfit that might raise the alarm of our campus community. I think that's a fair thing. Any questions at this point?
Chief, you said that it wasn't illegal, but it looked like in the picture he was in handcuffs. Was he arrested?
He was detained because at that point, number one, he was disrupting a campus function, but two, we didn't know what his intentions were, and certainly those were live rounds, and that is not something that we see on this campus. We just don't. So he was detained, and we determined what his intentions were, and he was cut loose at that point.
So he didn't have any sort of real or facsimile of a shotgun?
He did not have that on him, no.
Chief, obviously with the events that have happened in the last week or so, this has got to raise a red flag for anybody at this point, is that right?
Oh, absolutely. When that call went out, the hair on the back of all of our necks went up, and our officers, got there very quickly, just in case, because we just don't know. And although we certainly recognize this was the day before Halloween, and there was a chance it was a Halloween costume, we don't take those chances, and we're responding out there like it's the real thing.
Chief, you said he was disrupting a school function. Will he be charged with that or anything like that?
No criminal offense. We may refer him to student conduct, but we're still discussing those options.
Chief, you may have seen on the Twitter feed that you guys started where you posted the picture, there was a little bit of criticism. Someone said, wish I had heard about this via the campus alert system. What do you say?
We got there so quickly and had that classroom building on lockdown very quickly. I'd say that because of the quick response, we certainly evaluated our options. We pushed out something about a suspicious person right away, and then at that point we were vetting our options. If it had escalated, we certainly would have pushed out additional information at that point.
Chief, a lot of the students I talked to over there that had come out of the building after all this, they said, basically I was one telling them what was going on. They had no idea. They just knew that somebody came in, said something to the professor, and that was pretty much it. There was no information relayed to them in the classroom. Is that a concern that the students were not aware of what was going on, or should they have been?
If it lasted longer, then we would have pushed out information, and they would have known. And certainly, I mean, this is an effort right now to make the campus aware of what transpired earlier. But once we had a handle on things, and we had this person detained at that point, we knew that there was no longer a threat to campus. And again, our response was very swift.
How swift, Chief? Do you know from the minute the call came in? Roughly?
I don't have that information on hand.
Obviously, minutes from when the call came in to when the guy was
in
custody.
It was minutes, but I can't give you an exact figure at this point.
Was the call that came to you guys, was it from a student or from a teacher?
It was actually a third-party call, and that was part of the problem. Is we would have loved to have spoken to the individual who actually had eyes on this person, but this person reported to a professor who reported to another professor, and so it was really, the information was a little bit lost. But if we'd had direct contact with that person, we'd have known right away exactly what we were looking for. But we had enough information. I mean, it was the individual with the shotgun shell strapped to his chest, right? And fortunately, we only had one of those on campus today.
Where did you detain him at? Inside the building?
In the classroom. He was in class.
And what did he tell you? Was he just sort of taken aback by how you guys reacted to it? Or?
Yeah, I think that he was a little bit taken aback by it. He was dressing up in a costume. I don't think he realized exactly what that meant to some people.
When you pushed out a couple times about see something, say something, are you saying that you're surprised a lot more people did not directly call about this? Is that one of the things you're trying to get across to students?
Absolutely. We were surprised by only one call. And again, I have a couple of pictures. And you'll see what I mean. If you saw this, I think that you would have made the call. And certainly we would have expected more than one call from our campus community, given the way this looks. It looks alarming, it looks threatening, it looks scary. And if I had seen it as a student, I would have picked up my phone and called 911. And that's what we want from our campus community. You see this? Call us. We'll come check it out. It may be a costume, it may be more than a costume, but it's our job as the police department to keep this campus safe, to respond, and to ascertain exactly what's going on.
So in addition to the bandolier, is he wearing a trench coat?
He is. It's a big coat. I mean, he wants to look like Terminator, and that's part of the costume.
I mean, that's the thing with a lot of these buildings are open access. So who's to say he didn't walk in there with that and had a shotgun somewhere hidden somewhere? I guess was that a concern? And did you sweep the building for a gun or anything like that?
There was no weapon found, and after we talked to him, we knew exactly what was going on, and he was very forthcoming with the situation. He answered all of our questions.
This also is a thing. Maybe you should target it to parents. As a parent myself, my kids say, "Hey, I want to bring this toy gun to school, or this thing that looks like a toy grenade to a school." I say, "No, you cannot do that." Do you think parents need to be, put this into kids' heads that nowadays that you can't bring these things to school no matter how real or fake looking they are?
Oh, absolutely. And we've all seen these toy guns that look like the real thing. I mean, they're designed to look real. So absolutely, parents need to evaluate their kids' outfits and determine whether it's appropriate and whether it could get them, either questioned by the police or even worse. Who knows? I mean, we've seen tragedies happen around the country. We don't want that to happen. So, wear a fun costume, wear an interesting costume, but don't wear a costume that's going to put you in danger.
We'll do one or two more questions. Anybody? All right, thanks.
Thank you, guys.